What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode. We're getting some things lined out this morning, and the first thing is this C5 Corvette. Dude's here to just get some dyno pulls, some horsepower and torque numbers. So we'll go ahead and get that thing popped on the dyno and see what kind of power it makes. So guys, I'm not sure how much of that you guys seen. Camera ran out of battery while I was making the pulls, but that was one healthy C5. So LS3 swap, ported heads, camshaft, ported throttle body, upgraded intake manifold. I think it was a fast 103, 102. Veraram intake, long tube headers, full 3-inch exhaust. Very nice setup. Manual car. Put down 530 horsepower, 447 foot-pounds of torque. So very healthy car. Nice all-motor monster. As you can see, our C6 is back apart. Clutch line issue. So getting that resolved hopefully today. Get that car back together. Then we also had another car drop off this morning. Had this white 5.7 liter get dropped off. That joker is getting, looks like 14 body style, 13, 14. That joker is getting a Texas Speed Stage 3 camshaft, long tube headers, and I think a tune, obviously. As you see, I got a little sun on my face, and that's because took the truck out this weekend, this past weekend, to a no prep, and got my ass whooped first round. But I learned a lot. This is all new to me, coming from an import, front wheel drive, you know, prep surfaces. So looked at a lot of cars, paid attention, learned a bunch. So we're gonna revisit the truck, obviously make some changes, turn some power up, add some weight, make some adjustments to suspension, and then head out to the next event and see how it does. Obviously, we just want to keep progressing. Now that we have a baseline, now we can turn it up, now we can make changes, and now we can have some fun with the truck. So stick with us, let's get after it. As we move forward with the week, here we've got this thing lined out, fired up and running. After we fixed the push rod issue, it still wouldn't run. Kind of find out, if you look right here, whoop, cracked. So it wasn't getting all of its fuel pressure, but it is now. So I'm letting this thing warm up. I'll go ahead and get it strapped down, and then we'll start tuning on this thing. Like a barrel full of monkeys. This week has been full of trials and tribulations. No, I'm just kidding. It's been a rough one. So as you can see, we've got our clutch Corvette on the dyno, and this thing needs a lot more than just the clutch. So digging in and diving in, we have found the O2 sensor extensions are homemade, which probably could have caught that when we were doing the clutch, but wasn't paying much attention to it. And then so those need to be replaced. Also, if you look on the intake manifold, the nut cert is pulling out of the intake. You see right there, and as you can see, flush and sealing, not flush, not sealing. So Long story short, this car is out of North Carolina. This customer just moved to Texas, and unfortunately he has had a bad experience. You know, we see stuff like this sometimes, right? Just not installed correctly. Obviously it was going to get addressed before it left here, but yeah, this is obviously not acceptable either. And you see that suspector on it, so that's an O'Reilly's brand component, not the air raid one that come with this intake that I would assume that setup was installed at the same time the Fast LSXR was. So with that being said, we are going to address these issues, get them all repaired, and then you will see this car back on the dyno. Starting with another new project though, I don't know if you guys remember this car. A while back, last year sometime, we did pistons, rods, and a camshaft on this Scat Pack. Love the welds on this thing. Since then, it has gotten a ProFlex commander, and we are going to be doing this Holley Sniper EFI intake and upgraded injectors and fuel pump to this Johnny as well. But we do already have some issues. Customer has already started working on this by putting the fuel rails on. And not to put the customer on blast, but if you look at that, that is not okay. Our fuel rails are not centered on top of the injector. So spacers are going to be needed. That stuff is not okay. So hopefully I can get all this stuff apart and get it straightened out. That front one's really questionable. And get it fixed for him. Or I'm going to have to call him and give him some bad news that his brand new Sniper has been muffed up by himself. Either way, we're going to go ahead and get cracking on removing the OEM stuff and getting prepped for our new stuff. Our 2020 just came off the dyno, and I did not film any of its pulls, but this is the car right there. That's the one that we just did the Sniper Holley Pro Series manifold and FIC 1000cc injectors and E85. That thing finished out at like 534 horsepower to the wheel, and I think 500 foot-pounds of torque. In the meantime, John has already started another cam job, and he's already got the cam in, but we had some other things like this Mishimoto radiator is going in, Mishimoto expansion tanks going in, the coolant thermostatic bypass for the transmission temperature is getting put on, and then as you can see, the new lifters are already in, the head gaskets are on, front covers on, camshafts in. We've got some radiator pipes and an exhaust system. Already got long tube headers going on this thing too. I just brought the heads back from the machine shop, got the springs and retainers put in, so that one's coming together very quickly. As you can see, we can slam out those Hemi cams. So as you can see, we have our 6.4 on the dyno. Just to recap this one, got a camshaft, long tube headers, full exhaust, Mishimoto radiator, Mishimoto overflow. It's got a catch can, and intake. So, got her strapped down, went ahead and put a base map on her. Let's go ahead and make some tugs and see where this beautiful 14 ends up. I wanted to show you where our white car ended up. 430 horsepower, 438 foot-pounds of torque. Now, let's get crack-a-lacking on our 6.4 car. By white one, I mean that one right there. This one.